Happy belated Christmas. I'm Trish, the purple painted lady, and I hope you don't have too much of an echo because we are over at a little house that I like to refer to as the little gray house. And if any of you that are following us have ever been to our festival, we purchased the property across the street from where we live because it has like, I think almost 40 acres. And we use a substantial amount of that for parking. And the property came with a really large riding arena that we are in the works of replacing the metal roof, and we are putting a cupola on top, and we're hoping to put a cement floor in that big barn and then be able to use that for rustic weddings. And this property was, the house that I'm in was built around the 40s or 60s. So Steve would know exactly. And it was in pretty rough shape when we got here. In fact, it probably, other than it having really solid bones, it probably would have been something most people would have just demolished. They would have just bulldozed it over. It was really bad inside. I'll post some pictures below, as in like something you would see on TV in a murder mystery. It was really, really bad. Anyways, so we have some wonderful friends. In fact, here's one of my wonderful friends. There's Courtney. And Courtney's part of our team. She's also a very dear friend of our family. In fact, I would adopt her if I could. But she has a great mom and dad, so she doesn't need that. But anyways, so with the help of really sort of like the Purple Painted Lady Village, some really great friends, we've been slowly renovating this little house that is probably less than 1,000 square feet. And I nicknamed it the Little Gray House, even though eventually I think I'm going to have the outside painted like a dark navy or black. But the kitchen, well, I guess obviously I'm doing this without an organized script in my mind. I'm not going to pan down on Courtney, but I don't know if I can actually show you. Probably not. So this kind of gives you a visual outside of the window we replaced of, hopefully, there's that big barn over there. It's like 220 or 50 feet by 180. And although the roof is covered with snow, that is a new metal roof. And then there's another barn there that pretty much wants to fall in any day. But we are hoping we might be able to save that. And right outside the back of the house is a dilapidated outdoor riding paddock. And we're hoping to fix all of that fence post around this area. And then, like I said, the property goes back for, I don't know, a total of 40 acres. So hopefully that made some sense through the video. But what we did when we got in here, because the house was so bad, I'll give you an example of how bad it is, or how bad it was. So we haven't replaced this door yet, but maybe, do you see how nasty this door is? This gives you an idea of how bad the condition of this house was. As in like, you know, I think the mice, there was more mice in here than probably that live in our town. But anyways, so we have gutted the bathrooms and gutted the kitchen down to the studs, and we ripped out the old windows that used to be in the kitchen, which were like, I'll take you on a tour eventually, but which were like long, narrow windows. The ones in the living room aren't even as low as the ones that used to be in the kitchen. And so the kitchen's a small, basically square, and where we have these newer windows, there used to be individual, very long windows, which would have prevented us from having the cabinets along the outer perimeter. So we took out those long, narrow cabinets, and there's a guy local in Macedon, Prizzy Construction, Bill Prizzy, who is amazing carpenter, construction, like if you're doing a renovation, consider using Bill. He's really awesome. So he came in and he tore down all the old plaster walls, the old ceiling, which was coming off in flakes in different areas. And he took out the old windows and we put in the panoramic window, which will go above the sink. And we added the side window here. And where the stove used to be, so in this space, there was like the old time cabinet where the countertop and the sink are all porcelain. And the stove, everything was on this little wall here. I'm guessing that wall is about maybe 7 feet. What do you think, Court? It was about 7 feet. And it was really bad. In fact, I know I have pictures of what it looked like. And one of my very dear friends, Hannah Forche, and her father, they took it all out and put it in like a, I don't know, I think a 30-foot dumpster we filled with everything from the house. And I knew once we, and I just have to add, that was probably one of the most disgusting projects that had to be done. So I am extremely grateful that they did that. And then there was about 6 layers of linoleum flooring on the floor, which we have, it's all gone. And so now we have a nice new floor. There's Courtney again. And all new drywall and new ceilings, new lights, new electrical. And about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, we did a renovation over at our house, which is right across the street. And we took out our cabinets. And I am a bit of a hoarder sometimes. And I was like, don't throw those cabinets away. I know we're going to use them for something. And at that point in time, we didn't even own this property. In fact, it wasn't even on the radar for us to purchase. So we took those cabinets, and of course, they went into our 2-car garage, which really, I don't know why we call it a car garage, because our cars don't go ever in the garage, because I always have pieces of furniture in there and miscellaneous other stuff. So my husband's a saint and puts up with that. And anyway, so I kept our cabinets, which are kind of dated, in that, you know, they're probably from late 1970s, early 1980s, and they have like these slats that go down here. But let me just tell you, these cabinets, even though they're old, I don't even think, I know that the cabinets that we purchased aren't nearly as solid and as nice as the wood cabinets that we took out. So we saved them, and I'm grateful because we are now, they're over here at the little gray house, and we are going to be painting them. And Court, I might need your help. I don't know what I do with my sample board. So it might be in the bag in that powder room. So we decided, this is actually a good example. I got a Baylor design catalog, and this is not the exact style we're going for, but this came in the Baylor design catalog that I just received. And the bottom of the kitchen island is sort of a blue, and the top, I'm sure, is white marble, which we're not being able to go with marble just because of the cost, but we are going to go with a really pretty white laminate. So what we decided to do in this space, which is not a huge space, it really is ideal for this, and it's only a 2-bedroom house. And like I said, remember, it's maybe 1,000 square feet. It has a powder room and a brand new bathroom upstairs, which is actually quite large for the size of the house. It surprises me. But we're thinking we're going to go with a floating island and have some bar stools surrounding the island. And the kitchen cabinets we decided to do in Abusan Blue, which is out of Annie Sloan's suite of colors. It's chalk paint by Annie Sloan. And what we love about using chalk paint is how, one, the aesthetics, it's gorgeous. I love the look of that Abusan with the dark wax. Actually, excuse me, this is the black wax. And we just did this, we meaning Courtney and Amy, but Courtney just finished a really big old hutch that came from a hardware store in our Macedon shop. And she painted it with Abusan blue and did black wax. It's one of my favorite combinations. So we are going to paint these cabinets. Hopefully you don't mind if you're out there, because I know some of you said they're really nice, but we are going to paint the cabinets in Abusan blue, and then we're going to have a white countertop, and then we'll do some type of tile, either white subway tile, or I'm a little concerned about this pattern being a little busy because the drawers and the cabinet doors, like I said, have these grooves on them. But at one point I picked up this tile, which is sort of a chevron pattern. And this is white marble. And the reason I thought this was cool was on the outside of the house, I'm hoping to have it be like a dark bluish black, and then the shutters are going to be natural wood, but I want the shutters to have sort of that chevron pattern in the shutters, so sort of taking that theme around and outside. But anyway, so Courtney is being very patient because I talk, and we wanted to maybe do some quick Facebook Live videos. It's helpful if you're watching. I'm not going to wait and say, I'm going to wait for 20 people to get on, because that's just silly. You can watch this video whenever. It doesn't have to be at the moment I'm doing this. But I would love it if you guys who do jump on want to just put down where you're located, because it's a lot of fun for us. And if you put a question or you note a question, we will absolutely respond to them. It doesn't matter if it's after Facebook Live. And even if I answer a question verbally, I will go back and I'll type a response. So Cindy Downing, hi Cindy. Cindy put a note out there, how can that be durable and washable enough for a kitchen? I'll answer that. So chalk paint is an interior and an exterior grade paint. And so you can use chalk paint for your outdoor shutters, your exterior doors, your porch furniture. Chalk paint has the unique ability to grip and adhere virtually to any surface. And when I say virtually any surface, what I mean by that is, can you paint a fiberglass, I don't know, base of a diving board? Yeah, you can, but certain surfaces might be a little bit not ideal, or more importantly, the functionality. So I'm trying to think of something where somebody said, can I paint this like the inside of your bathtub? Nope, I wouldn't use it. Some people will ask, can I paint my countertops with chalk paint? Yes, you can paint the countertops with chalk paint, but you have to have a top coat over the chalk paint that's going to be durable. I know people who've done 2-part epoxy on their countertops, and it looked amazing. But you wouldn't be using a polyurethane or Annie's wax for that matter. But on kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, chalk paint is very durable. In fact, it probably rivals, in my opinion, but I own the shop, so it's going to sound kind of biased. It does. But if somebody calls me up, and if you're out there, you probably know, if you've called me and asked me a question, if I don't believe this is the right product, I have always told you that. In fact, some people would be like, now why did you do that? You lost the sale. I don't care. I'd rather lose a sale any day than misguide somebody on the product, because I'm a consumer too. I want to make sure that whatever I'm using for my projects is the absolute best in regards to the look and the durability, because I do not want to have to do this again in a year and waste my time, which my time has value, but even more so, I don't want to waste my money. And it's kind of, interesting, because here in my life, I'm 47. I have a couple stores. My husband's a software engineer, but I grew up where my dad worked road construction and my mom was a stay-at-home mom. And even though as a child I didn't know it, money was tight, but my parents were amazing team, and they were able to stretch a dollar as far as it would go. And if they bought something, it was probably one of the best quality items that you could buy, and they took really good care of it because they didn't intend on buying a new one ever. So anyway, so when it comes to painting your cabinets, I like to tell our customers that this is probably one of the most important projects you will do in your home, where you do not want to skip on the quality of the products you are using, because to either strip your cabinets, what a pain in the neck that would be, but also even more so, if you needed to actually take your cabinets out and replace them with new cabinets, and you don't have, you know, a husband who possesses the skills to do that, like my girlfriend Diane with her husband Bob, or Courtney's dad Matt. If you are paying somebody to have to do that work, it is substantial and it is very expensive. So the beautiful thing about the chalk paint, which is absolutely durable, and yes, you can clean your cabinets. And once that chalk paint really starts to bear down, grip, and adhere and starts to cure, which is immediately, once that's done, it's really, really difficult to remove it. And that's why it makes a wonderful exterior grade paint. Out in front of our shop in Mastodon, somebody during a paint delivery, one of the quarts of paint was leaking. It dumped all over the cement sidewalk in front of our shop. That was 2 years ago. We're in New York. It snows. The plow truck goes over that. And yeah, and there's salt there. So I hear somebody, I did my cabinet 3 years ago. They're starting to chip a lack of handles. That's a good point. I'm going to talk about that. Do I need to sand them again before touching and repainting? So I think something that's really important, and that this does not matter what paint product you use. If you go with Annie Sloan's chalk paint, if you go with Benjamin Moore or Sherwin-Williams kitchen paint, something that I see often is that if you have handles and the handle doesn't have enough clearance where your fingernail can grip in there, oftentimes people, especially women with long nails, will continuously dig at one spot. If that's the case, I would really consider on getting something on your cabinet doors where you have better clearance, or a little bit more tolerance in there for your fingers to grab in. If you have anything where you've chipped away at something, and probably doesn't matter what product you're using, but if you used chalk paint and you waxed your cabinets, I always tell people the most important thing is to get a little bit of odorless mineral spirits. So Courtney has some. Yeah, there they are. And before you do a touch-up over the wax, I would take a rag and I would moisten the rag, almost like if you were doing nail polish remover, kind of flip it over a couple times, and just lightly remove some of the wax in that area. Then do your touch-up of paint and then re-wax. And the reason I say that is if you apply a touch-up of paint over the wax, that little area sticks out, because it's almost like taking panes of glass and putting a photograph down in one of the bottom panes and another photograph up in the top, and you're looking down on these panes of glass. You can sort of see the different dimension, and it's always best, if you're going to do a touch-up, to apply paint to paint. Unless you're going to paint the whole door. If you're going to paint the whole door over, you can do that right over the wax if you're using chalk paint. Okay. And then, so let me just at a high level tell you what our project is, and Courtney's being really patient over there. Actually, you have the easy part of the job. You're just getting to hang out and sit. Yeah. So the first thing, I'm going to explain to it and then we'll show, but if you ever purchase product from the Purple Painted Lady and you're going to do your cabinets, it is really important that you tell the sales associate, one of our team members, that could be Luke, Hannah, Maria, Laura, Sarah, Amy, Courtney, Diane, Karen, Anne, Lori, and Grease. So it's really important you tell us what your project is, because we're going to give you instructions that are specific for your project. We want you to follow those instructions because it'll guarantee your success if you do what we tell you to do. So typically with kitchen cabinets, we're going to actually ask you to wipe them down using that odorless mineral spirits, not the environmentally green, which is white and looks like milk, because it doesn't perform the same. And it doesn't clean your wax brush or your cabinets the way the odorless mineral spirits does. But we're going to have you moisten a rag, wipe them down with the mineral spirits, and then you're going to use some fresh water on a totally different rag, and you're going to wipe your cabinets again. So, Courtney, you're going to be Vanna. Courtney is the cutest I'm going to flip over, and I'm going to move so that window's not behind you because it's like kind of obnoxious. So we took these drawers right out. Now, we can't actually stand these up like we would a normal drawer if we were going to be painting these at most times. We like to take the units right out of the casing. It makes it easier. But these we'll put in when we paint. So, like I said, these cabinets and these drawers are probably from, I'm going to say, early 1980s. So, Courtney's just taking some mineral spirits and just wiping everything down and really going to focus on the front of that drawer. And because, you know what, these are actually a little bit more difficult, and a little bit more complication. You see all these little grooves, they're indentations. When we go to paint this, when we're finally ready, we're going to sort of apply our paint in almost a dry brush technique and build the color up. Because if you dip your paint or your brush right into that quart of chalk paint and then come right at this, you're going to get a lot of paint kind of getting stuck in the grooves and dripping, and we don't want any drips. So the first thing we're going to do is just clean the cabinets with mineral spirits, and then after, we're just going to take some fresh water. Even though that has the cap on, can you just pretend you're moistening the rag? So literally, we're just lightly moistening it. Yeah, I would maybe like move that around a couple times, but you don't want the rag to be dripping. It's just lightly moistened. And, you know, there's a lot of products you can use for cleaning cabinets. You could use, there's a product called Crud Cutter. Some people like to use hot water and vinegar. All I know is that whatever you choose to use, make sure you thoroughly clean those cabinets. Because if you leave any residual food, grease, maybe you have a dog or a couple dogs, and you have their food dish or their water dish near one of your cabinet doors, you really want to make sure. And if you had to, you can get a Scotch-Brite scrubby and even kind of scrub that area, because you need to make sure that you strip any type of grease, grime, use your imagination, off that cabinet. So when we go to paint, it is a clean, dry surface. That will guarantee the success of your paint adhering. So I just want to mention that. Let's see here. I'm just trying to see if anyone has any questions. So we're going to, over the course of the next couple days, post a few videos showing you sort of the progression of what we're doing. And we'll take some photos and make that into maybe a little slideshow. But painting your cabinets is much easier than you would think. And this kitchen, even though the cabinets basically make an L shape along the walls, and I just gave the dimensions to the woman that's going to be making our countertop, one side of this section is 146 inches long. So that gives you an idea, 146 inches long, and then the other side is 99 inches long. And a kitchen of this size, we'll have to calculate the square footage because I have a dishwasher space and we have the space for the stove. So what I will do, and I will post this a little bit later in a comment below this video, I will post the actual square footage and a little cheat sheet that shows you how to calculate square footage in case you don't know. But I will post the square footage, and this entire kitchen, like if you were to walk in and say, this is my kitchen, I want to paint it, how much do you think it's going to cost in the sense of the materials? Hey, and Court, I don't know what that is there, so I just want to point that out to you. If you were going to stop into the shop, and I recommend, you know, you want to purchase a really nice quality paintbrush. You will want to get a nice wax brush because, again, you are investing in your kitchen. You're going to do it once and you're going to do it right. So that way when people come over, they're going to look at your kitchen and go, oh my God, who did you have come and do your kitchen? And you can be like, I did it and I saved enough money that I'm going on vacation. So if you decide though locally you don't want to paint your kitchen and you would rather have someone do it and you like the look that's more of a hand-painted, high-end, waxed, you could have, it could be distressed, it doesn't have to be, but if you are looking for anything along those lines, give the Purple Painted Lady a call. You can email me, because in 2018 we're going to have a team that does kitchen cabinets. So we're excited about that. Let me just see a couple more questions. Does chalk paint come in any shades of black? And that's by Patricia. Hi, Patricia Tracy. So Annie Sloan's colors, she has 35 colors in her suite. We have them listed on our website, thepurplepaintedlady.com. On the menu, it says, see all chalk paint colors here, or see all chalk paint colors in a row. I don't know, something like that. But it's on the top of the website. There's a black menu bar that goes across when you visit www.thepurplepaintedlady.com. And when you click on that, you will see all of the colors listed alphabetically. Not only do we show you the color, but we show you the paint on a sample board. So initially I was talking about how we're going to paint these cabinets in Aubusson Blue, chalk paint by Annie Sloan, and we are applying the black wax over it. This is Aubusson Blue with white wax, okay? We also have another sample board at the shop that shows you Aubusson Blue with just clear wax, and then we also sell a brown wax. It's Annie's dark wax. So there's 4 different color waxes. We're using the black wax over the Aubusson Blue. I would propose to Patricia that if you wanted it to be more black, the color graphite, which is the name of a color that Annie Sloan has, it is the color of, in my opinion, of slate. And it's not a true black. But when you put the black wax over the graphite, it is very dark. And it is black. And I have a feeling that that would probably satisfy what you're looking for. Oh yeah, Ann, who works at one of our locations, is like, no, there's 36 colors, Trisha, because there's a new color called Lem Lem that was introduced this year. And some of the proceeds from every quart get donated to Oxfam. And that is a fundraiser that Annie Sloan is introduced, and it will probably go for another couple years. So thanks, Ann, for sharing that. Okay, I can ramble on, but like I said, we're going to be posting videos of the progression of this little kitchen. And although it is a little kitchen, the cabinetry there's a fair amount. I will put comments underneath this post regarding the actual square footage. And we will also put a material list of what we use to do this kitchen. And any questions you ask, we will follow up with a written response besides if we ask. And like I said, Facebook Live videos, they're always here. So if you miss one, don't worry. You can catch it later at night, and you can even fast forward to the parts where you see us working. So Happy New Year, guys. Thanks. And this is Trish at the Purple Painted Lady with Courtney. And we're going to be painting the kitchen over at the Little Gray House. And we would love to earn your business, so visit the Purple Painted Lady. And if you have any questions, let us know. Bye.